Hey, Dragon?
Oh, give me a second. I need to get past the water temple. Okay, good. I hate the water temple. Now, what do you want?
The second part?
Oh, yeah! Marker paper! And here's the next one!
Next up is the Canson marker... Wait a second. Did I already do this one? This is the Canson Pro layout paper. Oh, well, anyway, this is the marker paper we'll be looking into today. And to say that this paper not only feels like the Canson Pro layout paper, but it's also pretty much similar in paper. But unlike the Canson Pro layout, it's pretty expensive, coming around at...
Alright, I'm done. Megatron, please end me.
Bye, have a great time.
Why is this paper so expensive? At least with the last Canson, which is now making me wonder if these two papers are made by the same people, is at least a bit cheaper than this one. And yes, I know that Copic has the most expensive marker paper out there, so they could go. As someone who doesn't want to spend an arm and a leg just to get a sketchbook that I can use for marker, without even the worry of markers bleeding through the paper, this sketchbook seems a bit overpriced for what it's worth.
But is this sketchbook worth the money that you have to pay for, which is $17.99? But is this paper, this sketchbook right here, worth the $17.99 that you have to pay for just to get the thing? Well, let's go ahead and take this sketchbook and turn it into a masterpiece.
I have to say this right off the bat. This part is not starting off too bad. Sketching on this paper felt like the last paper.
Way to start off strong. I hated sketching on this paper. It was not fun. I felt like it was like, sketching on this one all over again. But I do generally get surprised later when I was working on this one. And I'm generally not surprised with this, but this one I am for some reason. It even gets better with not just the line art, but the markers as well. See, Dragon, I told you. Shut up.
The line art wasn't all that great, but at least it's better than the last one. And then we get to the scary part of the video.
Now, this part would have determined if the paper was good or not. And I was a little bit worried that this paper would turn out just like how this one turned out. But I was genuinely surprised. Like I mentioned before, this paper surprised me in ways that I thought it wouldn't be possible, like how this one was very disappointing. And to my everlasting surprise,
holy ever great dragon, this is wonderful!
Still not the greatest, but at least it's better than this one right here.
I can tell that the color's blended. The shady parts, and it doesn't
feel like a complete cancer. I say I had a lot of fun coloring this page right here. It's not God tier like this one right here, but yeah, I'm genuinely surprised. I really like how it turned out. The marker blends quite well, much better than this one. And I can tell where the shadings are. Unlike this one on the other hand, and goodbye. But do I feel like that the sketchbook is worth it in the end? What does the verdict say?
Well, what does the verdict say? 3 out of 10 for the sketching, 5 out of 10 for the line art, and 2 out of 10 for the markers.
What? Why did I give this one a 2 out of 10 for the markers? Didn't I have fun with this? I mean, I would have joined the process more so than, well, this one right here. So why did I give this one a 2 out of 10 for the markers? While I admit I did have a lot of fun coloring in this page, unlike this complete cancer, and the markers, it's not blending in certain areas. It's not just blending in certain areas. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, the blending part isn't bad. Unlike how this one portrayed it, it's like streakiness all over the wazoo. It's just that it's how to put in the word? Not all that blended. You can still see streak marks on the paper. Hopefully you can see it on camera. And yes, I do put this one above this one, but I wouldn't recommend this sketchbook. It is expensive. Too expensive in my opinion. And don't get me started on the Copic marker paper. But alas, this isn't worth your money, sadly to say. I mean, I would say it's a bit worth it than the other one that we looked into last week, but this, because of the price, I'm not going to recommend it to anybody. Yeah, that was a big bummer. What about this one instead?
This here is the coral. I know marker paper?
Couldn't they find an easier name to say instead of this?
You probably would have mistaken this sketchbook for the very first one that we looked at last week.
Which you can actually find in the last week video down in the link in the description below. Also, you can find my Instagram and my Etsy shop down in the description below. But we'll get to talk about those later in the video.
Tad bit bigger than the Strathmore sketchbook, but not that much. It's about 7 by 10 inches.
Not too big, not too small, it's just the right size for you.
It's perfect if you want to draw smaller drawings, and
I have to worry about losing some bigger markers, RIP to the dead ones. I will have to say that this one is a little bit better than Strathmore. Just a little bit.
The sketching process feels like Strathmore, although if you don't erase the pencil line enough, you'll get sketch line popping through the line art and markers.
I have to give points to both Spectre Noir paper and of course the Strathmore paper for getting rid of sketch line. I'm hoping I'm saying this paper's name correctly.
Getting rid of the sketch line even after the coloring the pages.
Even though I kind of gave the paper kind of a hard time last time, they seemed to pretty much hide the sketch mark pretty well, but not by much.
Perhaps maybe I didn't erase hard enough for this piece, but if I did erase hard, I could crumple the paper.
Don't want to ruin all the hard work I did with this paper. How much coffee did you have? I'm gonna need to count.
To infinity and beyond!
Okay, remind me to never give the 4 cups of coffee again.
Sketchbook aside, the line art wasn't all that bad. I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, the grass in this picture kind of looked like a sharp pointy thing.
And once again, I'm done with the line art and coloring. This is the... oh...
Is that it? Dragon. Not another word out of you, alright? I don't want to hear anything out of you today. Yeah.
The reason why I didn't blend any more colors or shade it is because I wanted a children's book-like artwork, and I really like how it turned out.
But besides no real shading in this one, or like really much coloring in this one, it's not that bad. I actually used this paper before when I was doing my the Pulp Hero drawing that I did a while ago. This one, and oh, this was not included in the Pulp Hero, but I used it for this one anyways. It was not included in that video. The Pulp Hero video will be linked down in the description below. Yes. Not too shabby for some cheap marker paper. Wait a minute, where did I get this again?
I got it at Walmart. I was at a store and I found it there. Well, I did once.
And sadly, I couldn't find this sketchbook at Walmart anymore. I mean, I know they're selling this brand still, but I couldn't find it either at the store nor at like the website. I looked. I physically looked at the store and I went online to look for it. I couldn't find this anywhere. So if you have any idea where you might find this, please let me know, because I can't find the sketchbook anywhere. But I do want to know if this sketchbook is worth your money. I do want to know.
Sketch is about 6 out of 10. Line art is about 8 out of 10. And marker is pretty much the same as the line art. 8 out of 10.
Not too bad for a cheap marker paper. I could probably use this to make hush. Okay, we did Canson paper. We did Coraliado paper. What next? I have what you're looking for. Oh, hi, Queenie. How you doing? The last book. Queenie, are you okay? The Artist Laura marker paper? I know this paper!
Yep, if you don't know what the brand is, where have you been? Artist Loft is a brand that is made by Michael himself, an art store that I go to way too often. Artist Loft make things from markers to even paints, the cheapest brand of the lot.
What? I don't have a hoard of those paints. What are you talking about?
Please help us! So it's no surprise that Artist Loft will make a sketchbook for markers. Although I feel like this book is for their own markers and not other type of markers. But since I don't have a hoard of Artist Loft markers, I guess I have to go for the closest one around me.
Speaking of marker, we should probably finish coloring this, even though it's already done.
Now I don't expect quality. Now I don't expect quality from Artist Loft. They are supposed to be a cheaper brand for artists that can't afford expensive art supplies. But I do wonder if this marker paper would be good for people who are just starting out and sketching the tyrant on this paper. And yes, this is a tyrant. Now shut up before I go get my Tyrannid army. Oh shoot, you weren't supposed to see that. As I was sketching and even putting in the line art, I was generally surprised at the result of what I was seeing. It felt like I was sketching on the Spectrum Noir paper, but it also felt like I was sketching on the straightforward paper as well. I then added my first layer of markers, and I was really getting excited. Each time I added a stroke of the marker was exciting. Is this it? Is this the marker paper that I would recommend for professionals? Is this the chosen one for all professional artists?
Hey Dragon, think fast! Say what?
Despite this being $10.99 when I got in this, I sadly wouldn't recommend this for any professional artist. This is good for beginners if you want to take a look into it, but not really for professional artists. Once you start blending colors together, it doesn't look all that blended. I mean, the paper tries really hard to have those blended look, but the more layer you add on, the more it starts looking like an old artwork you did back in high school. But I'm not going to go too hard on this paper.
While I was excited for this paper, the blending of it for the marker isn't all that great. So I would not recommend it for like professional work. But I will say that this sketchbook is great for beginners. I mean, it's not too bad to the point where I would not recommend it. It's just that I think it's more for like casual coloring, like something like this, and not for like professional work because of look at how blended that is. You can't even tell if it blended. It just looked like a mixture of colors and not all that great. But I would say if you're starting off with marker, I would recommend this marker paper. Or the other one that we looked at from last week. Just not the Canson paper. So. But what are the verdicts for the sketchbook?
8 out of 10 for sketching, 8 out of 10 for line art, and of course, 6 out of 10 for markers.
Not too bad for marker paper that can't really blend the markers very well. Maybe it's just like I use the same amount of colors, but I still say I recommend this for like beginners or just people who just want to color casually without having to spend a whole lot of money. This one is like $10.99 that you get at Michael's and only at Michael's. So yeah, if you're around Michael's, try picking this sketchbook up. Dude, I'm surprised that this video ended with a positive note. But wait a second, didn't you say you have 7 sketchbooks? No, I only had 6 sketchbooks. Let me refresh your memory. And today we'll be taking a look at 7 of them here today. Okay, she's good. Now what? What to do next? The heck? Dollar Tree? Oh no.